Today on New England Living, get ready to indulge as we dedicate an entire show to all things sugary and sweet. From a local institution dishing out ice cream for over 40 years, to an over 200-year-old candy company with roots on the North Shore. Plus, one of the country's most celebrated pastry chefs cooks up a traditional dessert with a modern twist. It all starts right now on New England Living. New England is full of adventure. I can't believe you guys are letting me do this.
Up and away.
Look at that. Oh, you just did your first takeoff.
Join me as we discover the people and places that make us so unique.
This is it. You can't find it anywhere else in North America.
I mean, does it get any better than this? Love the place you call home with New England Living. Thanks for joining us today on New England Living. I'm your host, Rachel Holt. First up, we're heading to Jamaica Plain to visit the iconic headquarters of the legendary J.P. Licks with founder and owner, Vincent Petrick. Vincent, this is not your average office. You don't seem like a fun guy at all. You can pretty much find anything you want in this room.
Yeah, these are all my mini collections, that I'm not allowed to have them at home.
Okay, so they come here, I get it now. So this is the JP location. This is where it all started, right?
This is the third reincarnation of the JP location. We've been here since '99, and this is like our mothership. We have our offices, we have our bakery, our coffee roasting facility, an ice cream making production center, and a retail store.
So you're starting this ice cream chain in Massachusetts. Was it ever a concern that, the weather gets pretty bad here?
Oh yeah. The other concern was the fact that we were like one of the last kids on the block as far as opening. There was the age of homemade ice cream in Boston in the late 70s and early 80s. We were the last ones to open, and we're one of the last ones standing. So we are organic opportunists. Organically, we grow. We don't have a plan. And we're opportunists in the fact that the excellent location comes on the market, and we have the people, and we have the money, and we have the desire, and we open. So that's how we grew to 17 stores, through organic opportunism.
Why is it so important with 17 stores to make sure each one feels unique?
We're kind of very representative of the communities in Boston that we serve. And that's one of the things I'm proudest of. We try to make our stores look different on purpose, and if possible, reflect the communities in which we do the business, rather than maintaining just a solid corporate entity. We like them to be eclectic.
Each store is kind of like its own mini art gallery. How are you celebrating artists in the community?
So we started off with employee art shows, and then it grew beyond our group of employees to the neighborhood. And so we've kept it a tradition in each of our stores to have local artists' work represented from anywhere from 1 month to 3 month shows. It's a nice local thing to do, to have your local customers put up their art.
Over the years, you've had some very bold and unique flavors. What goes into that process of picking the different flavors?
We listen to people, what they request and what I read, because it's almost anything that's sweet in a dessert can translate into ice cream. The inspirations come from everywhere. All the recipes originally were all mine. They were 100% mine. In the last 5 years, I've loosened up, and now our employees suggest things and we work on them. If they taste good, we sell them. So I no longer share the sole authorship of our creativity.
To help show us around the Sweet Treat Mecca is longtime employee and assistant production manager, Jonathan Vega. We're here with our friend John. John's been here for 18 years. Obviously, everyone knows JP Licks for the ice cream, but there's a lot more that goes on here at the headquarters. So what else can we find?
We're known for so much more. We're known for our coffee that we import from all over the world, and we roast our own batches. Funny story, the owner could never find a good cup of coffee in Boston anywhere. So he decided, I'm gonna buy my own roaster, I'm gonna get my own beans, and I'm gonna make that perfect cup of coffee.
We're here in the bakery. It smells unbelievable in here. What
Yes.
kinds of products are you making?
At the moment, the guys are icing cinnamon buns, but we do everything from bagels, muffins, croissants, and they're the perfect item to pair with a hot cup of coffee or a cold cup of ice cream.
All right, you have coffee, you have baked goods, you have cakes. All of that sounds really great, but let's not mess around anymore. We're here for the ice cream. Can we go check it
I
out?
know you've been waiting for that part,
We have been waiting.
so let's go check it out.
Okay. If you've ever wondered what makes JP Licks taste so good, we're about to find out all the secrets here.
Not all, some.
A few of the secrets, which is all we ask for. What flavor are we making?
We are making salty caramel cookies and cream.
This sounds so good. What is the first step?
The first step is I'm gonna pour 2.5 gallons of ice cream mix into the top of the machine, and then I'm gonna top it off by putting caramel and salt in the machine.
Okay, and you promised me I could be a part of it, so
Yes, so we're actually gonna turn it on now.
let's fire it up.
So you're gonna go ahead.
Yep. Let's just pour that in. How am I doing?
Good, and now you just gotta stuff down.
Okay.
Like you're angry at the cookies.
Okay.
Like you just
I
want
could
it all
never
in.
be angry at cookies.
So at this rate, we're never gonna get them in the machine. So I'm just gonna take it and then,
Oh yeah, there's a pro right there. That's how it's done.
so the last step after we put the broken chocolate sandwich cookies into the machine is to extract it.
AKA, we get to taste it, finally.
Yes, yes, and this is a completed batch of salty caramel cookies and cream.
Wow, this looks amazing. All right, moment of truth. We get to try our hard work.
Yes, are you ready?
I'm ready. All right,
Well, cheers.
cheers. Oh wow,
What do you think?
I did good. I did really good.
I think you did. If you ever need a job, let me know.
This is a dream job, and I think people are really jealous of me right now. Thank you, this is amazing.
I am fortunate because I have this wonderful little world that I've created. And it's a safe world, it's a secure world, and it's a kind world. And that to me was very important because of my childhood. It wasn't a very kind world to me, but I wanted to make it a kind world for at least right now we have about 350 employees. I figure we served something like 3 million ice cream cones last year. So we made hopefully 2.999 million people happy. That's what's most important to me.
Coming up after the break, I try my hand at candy making with a company that literally started it all. When New England Living returns after this. Welcome back to New England Living. I'm Rachel Holt. Up next, we're heading to Salem to check out America's oldest candy company with third-generation candy maker Bob Birkinshaw and his daughter, Jackie. We're here at the oldest candy company in America, so take me back to the very beginning. How did this company get its start?
Back in 1806, a woman by the name of Mary Spencer was on her way to New York from England, and she got shipwrecked. She was on the water for 2 weeks, and some fishermen found her, and they brought her to Salem. She asked the neighbors for help. They gave her a barrel of sugar, and she started producing the first piece of candy made commercially in the country called the Gibraltar. They became famous actually all over the world. She passed away. Her son sold the company to George Pepper. George Pepper kept the company going for quite a while. My grandfather eventually went to work for George Pepper at the early age of 14, and he eventually took over the company and bought it. My father eventually took over the company from his father, and he continued the company and ended up giving it to us, and now I've turned it over to my daughter.
What are your memories of your dad working with this company growing up?
He moved the candy factory to the basement of our house. He'd open the windows and put out a tray, and all the kids would be there grabbing the candy. So I grew up actually probably from about the age of 10 with a candy factory in my basement.
Isn't that every kid's dream?
It was the neighborhood kid's dream, let me tell you.
Those two iconic candies that are sold here, the Gibraltar and the Blackjack, what's the story behind them and how are they made?
The Gibraltar is basically a straight sugar piece of candy, a little cream of tartar. They're made the same way Mrs. Spencer made them back in her day. We have never changed her recipe at all. The Blackjack is still made the same identical way, blackstrap molasses. Again, they're all made by hand. They're rolled by hand and they're cut with a pair of scissors.
But enough talking about candy. It was time to experience the fun part, making it. Okay, Bob, so we're watching you make your famous Gibraltar here. What's the process?
Right now, we're cooling them. We have to cool it nice and even. We don't want any cold spots or hot spots in it.
That peppermint smell really hits ya.
We use only true oils in the Gibraltars and Blackjacks.
As far as the ingredients go, these are the same ingredients that Mrs. Spencer was using?
We haven't changed this recipe at all. It's basically just a sugar piece and cream of tartar and water.
And something so delicious comes out of it.
Yeah. As I'm turning it over and flipping it in, it's starting to firm up.
Yeah, that doesn't look light either. That looks kind of heavy.
This one's a 25-pound batch. It's a fun business and everything, but it's hard work. Once it cools enough, we're gonna put it on a hook. We're gonna pull it. This piece of candy that is like yellow right now, you'll see it turn white.
Okay.
Because when he pulls it, it aerates it. And when putting the air into it, turns it into a white piece. Back in the day, they didn't have colorings. So what we do is we cut a piece off of this and we keep that piece separate from the big batch. And once he finishes pulling it and it's white, we'll put this piece on the batch and it'll be like a stripe. So this is a way of getting a little bit of a two-tone piece.
And the final step in their time-honored process is hand-cutting each piece with a pair of good old-fashioned scissors. All right, you're trusting me with your famous candy here.
Now you cut them as a diamond shape.
You didn't warn me how hard this is. All right, how are we doing?
You're doing good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to watch the pro
A
and see
little
how
bigger,
it's done.
a little bigger.
A
These
little
two
bigger.
are really good.
Okay. These ones are going in the half-price bin, right? Do you feel like, in a way, you're preserving a piece of American history by selling these flavors that maybe aren't as popular anymore?
Well, that is part of it. It's part of history. We think an important part of history, and we want it to keep going. The Gibraltars are still very, very popular. It's our #1 seller, that and the Blackjack. Every person that comes in here, 9 out of every 10, end up buying a Blackjack and a Gibraltar.
What do you attribute to this company's success? Because over the years, taste in candy, taste in sweets, they have definitely changed.
I mean, we are dated in history, but we still have to be current. We still try to come up with new ideas, new recipes, new flavors, but we still make all the old-fashioned hard candies too. The Horehound Squares, sassafras, lemon. Lemon is probably one of our most popular hard candies.
We're not slowing down, we're not cutting out, we're adding, we're changing, we're moving with things, and that's important, and we work well together because of that.
What are some of those New England influences we can find with your products here?
Taffy is one of our most popular flavors right now. Matter of fact, I can't even keep it on the shelves. It's extremely popular. For the store in particular, our turtles. Our turtles are huge. Oprah Winfrey sent somebody in here actually, and there was a competition about who had the best turtles. We actually won in her September edition for her favorite things. And that's one of our biggest items. But we have several different things. We do peanut brittle, caramel corn, chocolates, caramels, fudge.
When the customers come in here and they're able to be in a place that's so rich with history and they're able to interact with you and hear those stories, what's their typical reaction to this place?
Most of them that come through and they start looking, the first thing they say is, "Oh, I remember this when I was a kid." We try to carry even things that we don't necessarily make, but were very, very popular back in the 40s and 50s.
I imagine you have those customers who come in generation after generation to buy the same candy.
We have people that come in that came in, say, 20 years ago, and they bring their kids in now. We have people that bring in their grandkids. We have people that come in that remember coming here when they were on school bus tours and buying Gibraltars or fudge. Fudge is very, very popular with kids, so a lot of people that came in here years ago bought fudge. We do have a lot of history that way with families. That's another thing in the business that makes us feel good, that people from all areas come back and bring their families back. It's a nice feeling, a good feeling.
From those memories that you have of your father helping you become the most popular guy in school, I'm sure. Pretty special to see your daughter now passing out samples and carrying on that special tradition.
It is, it makes me feel good. You know, it's like passing the torch. And sometimes it's hard, but we get to a point, you know, you have to do it. The business is going to continue, you've got to pass it on. And I'm lucky that I can pass it on to a family member.
To be able to preserve these memories and this legacy and keep it alive, What is that feeling like?
The history is what keeps me here, more than anything. I mean, it's in my blood. I love doing it, but when you think about the history behind it, it just keeps it even more so that you want to continue and hand it down and keep it going.
It becomes a part of you. You know, it's not just a candy store.
Makes it hard to walk away.
It makes it hard to walk away. I can attest to it, my age.
He's still full-time.
You know, people say to me, why aren't you retired? You know, because I actually like what I'm doing. I really enjoy making candy.
Coming up after the break, one of the most innovative and celebrated pastry chefs in America joins us in the test kitchen to share his spin on a classic dessert. When New England Living returns after this. Welcome back to New England Living. Up next, celebrity pastry chef Chef Silva shows off his tips and tricks for baking the ultimate sweet treat. Formerly the director of chocolate at Chew Innovation in Boston, pastry chef Chef Silva is now the chef owner of Salt Patisserie in Newton, where he combines classic French and Italian techniques with Brazilian flavors. Known for his countless national accolades and TV appearances, his celebrity clients include athletes, actors, and musicians known the world over. We're here at the Clark Sub-Zero and Wolf showroom. I am joined by Chef Chef Silva of Salt Patisserie. Because you're here, we know you're making dessert, and I want to get that started. What are you making for us?
Sounds like you're hungry, so let's go right into it. But thanks for having me. We're gonna be making a creme caramel, which is, in Brazil we call it pudim, something I grew up eating, and we're gonna make it and show you how simple it is to make something delicious at home. So we have a really hot pan, it's been on for quite a bit, and this is gonna help us make a dry caramel. So dry caramel means you're going in with the sugar, and that heat is gonna almost instantly just melt your sugar and start to caramelize. You can see right away. This will prevent the sugar from crystallizing, which is a lot of times a big issue and why people stay away from caramelizing. Well, this will help that.
You're gonna make it easy for us to do this at home,
I'm
right?
trying. Like, I want you to make this later when I leave, you know what I mean? That is the goal. And you don't want to add too much sugar at once. You just want it to start to melt and really caramelize. All right, so you see it started to get color. You're starting to get this beautiful caramelization happening with the sugar. And you want to get this dark because you really want to balance the sweetness. You want these bitter notes from the caramel. It really accents everything. A lot of times people see smoke, they think, oh my God, it's burning. It's not burning, it's okay. So at this point, really all you gotta do is turn off your heat. It's gonna keep cooking, and we're gonna add an ice cube. Okay. Stay away when you add the ice cube, it'll simmer. This is really just stopping the cooking process. And then, my favorite ingredient, a little bit of salt. Once you lose a lot of the bubbling, you pretty much stop the cooking from happening. And at this point, we're gonna pour it into our little jar. So we're gonna make 4 portions.
2 for me, 2 for you, right?
I was taking 1, you said you wanted 3.
When you think of desserts, you don't necessarily think of salt right away, but salt is in the name of your shop. Why is that?
Salt is such a key characteristic to bring out flavors. I wanted to name my place Salt, and salt is on everything. It's the one ingredient that's on every recipe.
Speaking of salt, I saw you add some earlier to this custard. What goes into this?
Yeah, so here it's very simple. It's milk, sweet condensed milk, which is something I use a lot in Brazil. We use a lot. Orange zest and vanilla beans, fresh vanilla beans. We bring it to a boil, simmer, and then we let it sit for 20 minutes. That's gonna bring out all the flavors from the citrus and from the vanilla beans, and then we're gonna make a custard. Now, what's the most important ingredient in a custard? Eggs. We have some yolks. You can do it with whole eggs. You can do it with just yolks. And all we're gonna do is strain our liquid into the eggs. Just a quick mix. You don't want too many air bubbles in there. Break your eggs apart. We're gonna fill up our jars. Then a cool trick to just pop some air bubbles is fire. So hit it with the torch. All those little air bubbles that you see there, fire just burns it out. Again, you don't want to hold the fire too long. It's just quick to pop out your air bubbles. So next step, we're gonna go in the steam oven. It's gonna steam for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then we're set.
Now, while that's in there for 30 minutes, making us wait for this dessert, right? What was the process behind opening up Salt?
I really wanted a pastry shop that's elevated, quality over quantity. You know, that's really what I preach. It's clean, it's inviting, we use quality ingredients, and we hope to keep it going and get better.
So this has been in the oven for about 30 minutes. Is this almost ready?
It's almost ready. I know you're hungry.
I'm really hungry.
Now we got to cool it overnight though.
Oh no, can't wait that long.
Luckily I have some ready for you.
Okay, we like that.
Once you take it out the steam oven, we want to keep it in the fridge overnight. Best results. So you can pop this out of the jar and eat it as is. Like, it's that simple. But we're gonna make it nice. We're gonna plate it up. We're gonna do a little landing spot with the sponge. And I love using this with creme caramel just because the sponge is gonna catch all that dripping, which is really nice. So all that caramel is gonna come right out. So it's really custardy, as you can tell. It's almost trying to collapse on itself, which is great. All right, so what goes really well with this is some citrus. So we have some kumquats.
And this is an easy way to elevate this dish at home, right?
Correct. Fresh fruit's always really, really good. And then we're gonna do some vanilla.
Wow, look
whip.
at that.
Okay, I like it really soft. We actually have little citrus ice. When you mix this all up, do you like creamsicle?
Yes.
It'll taste just like a creamsicle. All right, there you go.
Look at that. That looks fantastic, my friend. I got to try this out.
Try it out. Got to make sure you get a little bit of everything. Get in there.
This is absolutely incredible. I love the citrus.
Yeah,
I love
no,
what it
it's
does
very
for the
bright.
dessert.
Yeah.
And for this dessert, we have Penfolds wine. A lot of people know Penfolds Grange from Australia. This is actually a tawny port, so this is a little unique. How will this pair with the dessert?
It's a little bit sweeter than the overall dessert, and it's always better for that wine to be a little sweeter in the dessert, so it's not off-putting once you have it, so it pairs perfectly.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up, bonding with nature never sounded so fun. We'll introduce you to a group of adventure seekers in the Connecticut River Valley, offering up trips of a lifetime. When New England Living returns after this. Welcome back to the show. It's time now to go around New England to an outdoor adventure company in Western Mass dedicated to connecting people with the great outdoors. Brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Based in Sunderland along the banks of the Connecticut River, Adventure East offers guided access to some of New England's most iconic views and picturesque landscapes. From hiking the area's various mountains and peaks to exploring the countless wildlife along the Connecticut River and islands, guests are encouraged to interact with their surroundings and connect with nature. Adventure East offers opportunities to explore the best of what the Connecticut River Valley has to offer, with activities like canoeing and kayaking, hiking and fly fishing, cycling, even outdoor yoga and forest bathing. A one-of-a-kind bonding experience surrounded by the area's most idyllic conservation forest land. They also provide a unique dining experience, offering farm-to-table meals sourced right from the Pioneer Valley and prepared by local chefs, all while surrounded by the beauty of nature. Their team of guides and instructors maintain an expansive knowledge of the region and are passionate about sharing their love for the outdoors and connecting people with their surroundings. They go out of their way to ensure every trip is safe, educational, and of course, fun. They'll even set you up with all the necessary gear to make your outdoor adventure a once-in-a-lifetime experience. All you have to do is show up and enjoy the beauty and benefits of the great outdoors. Thanks for joining us today on New England Living. For more on the show or anything you've seen here today, visit us at newenglandliving.tv and follow us on social media. I'm Rachel Holt. See you next time on New England Living.